Great people. What's going on, y'all? How you doing? This is Soapbox Rhaq again with day 4 of what? Releasing mediocrity. Today is January 4th, 2015. Hope everyone is having a great one. Remember, good is good enough, but good is never great enough. Today I want to talk about the one thing that will determine how high we go or how low we stay. And that one thing is emotions. How we feel about everything. Because how we feel about things determines how we'll respond to everything, how we'll act to everything, how we'll get the results we want from everything we say we desire to have. So with that, let's look at an example. When I was going through my ordeal about 8.5 years, maybe 10 years ago, that's when it started. It started with a situation where I wanted to be wealthy and I wanted to be rich and I wanted to be prominent in life. And what happened was I met an individual and his words were, I'm going to teach you everything about real estate. Everything. I didn't know how ambiguous everything was at the time, but needless to say, I trusted this guy because I felt like, I could trust him. He had a Range Rover at the time, and I'm like, okay, well, he must be doing something right because why? He has a Range Rover. So my emotions led me to believe that because he has something in the physical form that looks like wealth, I could trust him. So as it went on, I went to a couple of meetings with him and he ran a credit check on me, and then next thing I know, we're sitting at closings. And at the first closing, I got this feeling that said, Tez, you shouldn't be doing this. But I'm signing away, right? Went to the second closing. Got the gut feeling again, saying, Tez, you should not be doing this. But I'm signing away anyway, signing away. Went to the third closing. Same feeling, same action. About a month later, when the mortgage bill is due, man, he couldn't be found. But he was sweating me all up until that point. So now my emotions are getting all wrapped up into it, and I'm going to look for him because the mortgage company is calling me and he said he was going to take care of it, but it's not being taken care of. And then now I'm angry and I'm upset and now I want to do bodily harm, And when I went to go find him at a place I knew he was living at, and next thing I pull up to the door and there's an eviction notice sitting on the front door. So now I'm fuming. Like, I can't even find this guy, And so I hadn't did none of the homework. I did not. I was ill prepared for everything going into real estate because everything about real estate is very ambiguous. It's nothing specific. And anyone who studies real estate or is a real estate professional, they pick a particular focus in real estate, be it wholesaling, be it multifamily units, be it single family homes, whatever the investment strategy is, that's what they stick to. So everything meant everything that would be brought into his pocket and taken away from me, which I don't blame him anymore because I willingly went into that ignorantly. So with that being said, that started my journey down a long path of being emotionally immature. I always kept pointing the finger. It's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And so finally, as I told you, I mentioned this before, is when I had to go to the Department of Human Services to apply for welfare. And I seen an ex-neighbor of mine, and she was in the same condition I was in, and it baffled me because I'm like, okay, I've never done any of the things that she's done as far as alcohol, drugs, prostitution, and that was my epiphany. That was my wake-up call to say, okay, I'm not putting everything back on me because I keep putting everything back on everybody else. They're the reason why this is happening. And so once I started taking charge of my emotions and I stopped overly investing emotionally into things, that's when my life started to turn around. That's when everything got more balanced for me. And in that, I started to mature. And once I started to mature emotionally, I started getting different results because now I became accountable. And once I became accountable, that opened up a totally different world and sphere for me to be a greater person than I was in the past. And now going forward into the future, I'm more equipped emotionally to handle things. Needless to say, that was the reason why I had to file bankruptcy, dealing with the real estate issue. Emotionally, I was devastated. I built a wall around myself. I hid from the world. I went into a religious organization and completely hid in there. And then what I discovered was I had the ability to speak inside of that. And that gave me great emotion to want to do what I'm doing exactly right now with you all and watching this. And I really appreciate this. So in closing, emotions guide our energy. They dictate our energy. Emotions dictate our thinking. Our thoughts dictate our actions, and our actions dictate our results. So if you ever want to get to a certain level in your life, we have to start at the beginning, which is the cause, which is the emotions. Where are my emotions leading me? Where are they taking me? Do I want to go here? Because if I do, what are the repercussions? What are the results of doing this thing that my emotions are guiding me into? And in that, I want to say thank you. Let's get control of our emotions. I actually have an acronym for it called E.R.M, which is emotional risk management. Because when you go to any company, they take risk management as far as they're investing. So we should do the exact same thing with our emotions. We should take we should do risk management when it comes to our emotions, because if we overly invest emotionally into something, it can have devastating effects on us. So we have to always make sure that we're in the proper mind. We're very clear thinking in what we're doing, so that we can get the results we want. Because things are going to topple over. They're not going to always go right. But at the same time, when you're emotionally balanced and you're in tune with your emotions, things won't devastate you as much. You'll be more progressive minded than being recessive minded, where now you're putting blame instead of saying, okay, what could I do right now so I can become a better person from this, so I can progress and then alter this later on in the future. So I want to thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Subscribe, like, tell your people. I love you. Thank you very much. See you next time.